Alright, so this is totally unplanned. I just watched a YouTube video on the fact that I should probably do this because why not? So here I am. It's Christmas Eve and I'm making a YouTube video, something that I'm super scared about. I always had this preconcept, how do I say this? This idea in my head that it should be professional with a professional camera, professional lighting, etc., etc. I've always kind of never or was scared to record myself if I wasn't like, if I felt like I wasn't skinny enough or fit enough or, makeup and glammed up enough like I typically am when it comes to like being on shoots or modeling or working on anything in regards to putting myself out there. I'm looking to the side because I'm also Twitch streaming as well. What's up, guys? I'm sorry if I ignore you guys. It's not intentional, I'm just focusing on this. But anyway, so I guess the goal of this video is to explain my journey, not only as like a 24-year-old just kind of figuring things out in life, but also my journey of being like a human being that's existing as I am in the pursuit of not only my dreams that feel surreal, that I haven't at least seen happen in my lifetime yet come to life, but also my journey to overcoming all of my fears associated with like everything I've ever felt like I wanted to do, this being one of them. It's definitely terrifying. I have a lot of anxiety actually, even just sitting here and speaking to the camera, looking at myself, and it's like, whoa, I think what felt the most comfortable is having like a filter on, hiding behind a filter, and portraying like a exaggerated sense of myself. Not necessarily exaggerated, but like being and existing as an ideal in my head that I think is appropriate for the audience, as opposed to actually just existing as I am. Twitch streaming is helping a lot, and it has been helping a lot because or just live streaming in general has been helping a lot because it's making me and forcing me to face the anxiety of being seen. I literally have streamed myself sleeping. I'm surprised people watch, which is really cool. Um, but also just existing. I think I had the biggest fear of existing, honestly. Existing as I am, naturally. Existing with the thoughts that I have. Scared to express myself in any way, shape, or form that isn't like or similar to what's kind of praised in media. I'm currently also trying to take care of my mental well-being and my spiritual well-being, as well as physical. And doing it predominantly alone. I think that the most challenging thing about my own existence right now is trusting, like, what's inside. Trusting, like, this thing in here that, I don't know, that just makes sense internally, but doesn't necessarily quite resonate with absolutely everybody. I've been trying my best to be sober. Sober off of drugs and alcohol. And by the way, if I keep looking to the right, it's because I also have my phone recording me for streaming on Twitch as well. But yeah, I think being sober off alcohol or drugs, especially during this season right now where it's like Christmas Eve and I'm like sitting in my bed alone, it's like, definitely feels like I'm kind of just sitting and like waiting for the holiday season to like pass, waiting for like for January to hit. You know, for all of those holidays meant for, you know, celebration and for people to come together and like give each other gifts and like hugs and love and stuff. Like I'm kind of just sitting to myself patiently, kind of currently waiting it out, trying to tackle some of like my life goals and whatnot in the meanwhile. Yeah, sobriety is kind of crazy because I realized when I drank alcohol, I made probably the worst decisions of my life pertaining to having met certain people that weren't necessarily beneficial to my well-being, my mental well-being, spiritual, physical, whatnot. It put me in a vulnerable place, susceptible to be taken advantage of, essentially. And I think due to that experience, I never would want to recreate it again. And also, in the industries that I currently am in, that I would love to share about, honestly. I truly do. It would just be a terrible choice to make. I think that it would like lead to a really dark path that would be difficult to come out of. Man, journey. So in this journey of mine, there's the physical aspect of it. I have a physical journey I have a dream physique, a dream way of being. And feeling. And I have a dream health. I think that I've been noticing that I've been pretty fatigued lately, and I'm suspecting that it might be because of the habits adding up, such as eating junk food, processed foods, and what else? That on top of stress due to daily life, and also like mental health, anxiety, and depression as well. I don't know if I'm necessarily completely depressed. My mental health care will kick in January, hence why I'm even more excited and enthused for January to happen. I'm really looking forward to getting psychiatric help again. I have had mental health therapy before, multiple times, and also even exhausted psychiatric help before. And then experienced something that has changed me internally as a byproduct of the choices I've made when I wasn't sober and drinking, that has permanently altered my life. So I'm currently in a stage where I'm rebuilding what I have been weak on, have had shortcomings on, such as my finances. I've had credit card debt that will be paid off, actually, thank God. Seriously. Repairing my credit, and I suspect that I have some sort of parasites or something going on, in which I've been making a lot of research on. So I'm looking forward to starting that journey of cleansing and detoxing myself from all of the junk that's built up in here, that's like, and it's a whole crazy world too on top of that, like the whole world of health, what to eat, what not to eat, what's the most ideal diet. I find it fascinating that it's actually kind of hard to figure out what the most optimal meal is. I had interest in looking for a nutritionist around me here, and I don't know, something just seemed off. Thankfully for technology such as ChatGPT, it basically is it basically kind of compiles everything that's on the internet. Tries to find like sources and stuff. It's like the ultimate research tool. So I've had like a 3-hour, 4-hour long this morning had a 3-hour, 4-hour long research sesh on what would be the most ideal diet, what would be most ideal to consume on a regular basis that serves to cleanse possible parasites the liver, the kidneys. So I'm excited to record my journey with that, honestly. I think it will be a challenge. It's very challenging because what I can say for a fact is that right now I'm addicted to sugar. Like, when I used to not be addicted to sugar, which is crazy. And I read that it can be, well, not only is sugar like highly addictive, and considering that on top of habits that were formed and built, I also realized that like parasites can have its impact as well on sugar cravings. So, see if I can cleanse myself, or like heal my body and detox it from whatever is going on in there that isn't picked up from the blood work that I had or tests. See, like, if I can simply just not feel fatigued as often as I regularly do currently, hence why I'm like in bed, that would be amazing. And if it works, in which I will document, if I stop craving sugar, then I have found the culprit. I feel like I must explain how I think as well in this, because I think it's also pretty important knowledge. When I think and speak, nothing that I ever say is necessarily black or white. If I say something, a part of me means it. Not that I'm necessarily lying, but it's more so just like it's a perspective. It's coming from a certain perspective. But at the same time, like as I'm saying it, in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking of like a bunch of other perspectives. I feel like I'm just blabbering. This is fun. I'm like actively like facing my fear. This is really crazy. This is super crazy. For example, if I say that I believe if I say that like parasites could have a big deal on me craving sugar, I'm also like open-minded to the idea that it could be a bunch of other factors. So I'm basically considering and making an effort to consider every single possible factor that can like apply to like one single thing. I don't know if any of that made sense. But yeah. Anyway. So there's that. I'm trying to take care of my physical health to the best of my ability, to what my finances can allow. At the same time, trying to care for my fitness and my physique. Caring for the detoxing of the parasites and whatnot means that I am essentially dieting or eating very clean, and also like taking herbs and whatnot that I will share my journey about pretty soon. So that would theoretically, I suppose, help my physical health as well in conjunction. And based off of the research that I've made, I've came to the conclusion to a list of food items that I will be making a sincere effort to being loyal to, to make, for food to ingest, that serves to meet my nutritional requirements and also serve to, not a thumbs down, and that would serve to like basically clean my body as well. So that would definitely help, I'm pretty sure. I'm making an effort to not consume caffeine anymore because I had a hardcore caffeine addiction. I think one of my favorite quote unquote drugs was my favorite drug replacement, my favorite high would be drinking a bunch of caffeine and then like hitting the gym for hours, just being in there for hours and like having this runner's high or adrenaline high plus the caffeine. But I realized that that's terrible for the health, so making an effort to not do that anymore. But as a byproduct as well, I'm pretty fatigued. I think also due to the dependency on caffeine or sugar or what have you, you know. So curious to see how that goes. Psychologically, emotionally, there's, I don't know, making an effort to heal my sense of self, heal my psyche in a way where I've come to understand as a byproduct of my upbringing, kind of how do I say this? It kind of molded my paradigm or my way of being in a way that was mostly self-sabotaging and leading towards like a place I wouldn't want to be or nobody should be at. And it's hard work to rewire the brain, to introduce a completely new belief system and then solidifying it inside, or solidifying it, you know, a completely new way of seeing life. And it's hard. It's so hard. I think I had a habit of being pessimistic. I think it was easy for me to be pessimistic. And, you know, spent years trying to see the world in a completely different light. I have tapped into spirituality, meditating, you know, all these things. And they've been helping a lot. Sobriety has been helping a lot. It forces me to be exposed to like my real life, and it forces me to focus on what I can do to actually make it better, to where I don't need to necessarily resort to a drug or alcohol or to a self-sabotaging choice that could make my life significantly harder to live. Like I said, I'm very excited for therapy, and I have been joining groups that kind of help me form positive associations with people as well. So there's that. And then, that aside, I have a bucket list in my dreams that I'm working on. It's fascinating because pursuing my dreams, the art of pursuing my dreams is definitely a challenging path to take. It's a creative dream. It's the dream of essentially, it's a dream consisting of me essentially just being myself. That's my ultimate dream, is to be completely myself. And it was also my biggest fear. Still is my biggest fear, to actually just exist and be myself. It's terrifying to just sit here, or it was terrifying to just sit here in front of a camera, 2 cameras, and just speaking about how I truly feel, being vulnerable. I think it's absolutely terrifying to be vulnerable because of the times I have been vulnerable, and in a situation that then took advantage of the vulnerability, in which led to psychological damage, in which I had to go through, heal from, be scarred from, and then make an attempt to overcome. So essentially everything I'm currently doing is my attempt in not only just healing myself as a whole, but also coming out of it on the better side. And yeah, but also this is definitely, it feels definitely lonely sometimes too, because it's it feels like such an individual journey. It feels like what I'm currently going through is very I don't know. The stuff that I'm going through it just feels very unique to me. And I feel like I'm going through a lot of things at once. I'm dealing with and not necessarily juggling, but I'm faced with multitudes of problems, obstacles, questions, things that negatively impact me, or goals that I am both achieving and in progress of achieving and dream to achieve. This whole, and so then yes, and then the dream of being myself is mostly regarding to music, artistry. I love that stuff. Oh my goodness, if it wasn't for music, I definitely wouldn't be around. For sure. I think that the weight of everything that I have been through and am going through is without such a strong purpose, without such a strong desire to do it, I definitely would not have found a sincere reason to be around on this planet, I'm really grateful to have had all the experience I've had, to realize that drugs and numbing myself in the form of drugs or alcohol isn't the answer. And I'm grateful to have experienced what it's like to stand on stage, be on stage, and sing or express myself as well, being real with myself. I think, and artistically expressing myself as well, and then having it be recognized as well. It's this feeling of liberation that's just irreplaceable and incomparable to anything that can possibly exist. Truly. It's a very freeing yet scary thing. It's scary until I do it and then get used to the feeling, and then and then I feel like absolutely liberated. Like, for example, 30 minutes into this, 30 minutes ago, I was terrified. But now, I'm getting used to it. And it's feeling like pretty liberating, honestly. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. So currently, I'm currently working on 2 tracks actively. One I have already finished. It's the first song I've ever made. So there's that. With the producer. It's absolutely insane because I have gone through so much. So much. I literally almost died, like, what, 7 months ago? 6.5 months ago? And then, like, literally the next month, I'm just like, okay, well, what have I got to lose at this point? Might as well just do what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make a song, but for some reason or another, I just didn't get around to it. I just had to almost die to realize, you know what? What have I got to lose? I almost lost my life. Not only that, but I also experienced heartbreak as well. Essentially getting rejected. Abuse. I experienced having lost basically everything in a city that I originally moved alone to, with a simple dream of making a song and, like, completing another bucket list item. I am venting. So, yeah. I can't wait for what the future has to bring. If there's anybody watching this and they feel alone, perhaps question their place in this life, the purpose or the reason as to everything. Just so you know, I, like, understand how you could possibly feel, because I have felt that. Like, honestly, my journey and my goal with this, my goal with my entire freaking existence in my life personally, is to share myself, to share what's in here out, and see what brings of that, see what happens. I'm curious to see how anybody, if anybody, could relate or anything. I think that'd be freaking fantastic. You know? I think that'd be great. Yeah. So if anybody feels like that, if you feel like that, feel free to, like, comment it down, honestly. I think that would help both of us. I think it would help me not feel alone that much. Like, it definitely feels scary to just express myself, but because out of the fear of rejection. But at the same time, like, if I get rejected for being who I truly am inside, or expressing how I truly feel inside, then I think that's just the universe's way of showing me that there's just better coming, that there's other things that are meant to be, and then showing me what's not for me, and then making room for what is for me. I have this ambitious goal with music that, that I am giving my absolute everything. I'm giving, oh my god. With music, I am giving my absolute everything to what is essentially a figment of my imagination that I had once just got carried away thinking about for years. 4 years of my life. For absolute years. There's definitely a quality, like, of delusion, But at the same time, I have absolutely nothing to lose. Like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. The things that I'm gonna be doing is going to require a decent level of confidence, quote unquote guts or balls, but and for some reason I just feel called to do it. I just want to do it. I feel so passionate and dedicated to do it despite anything. But yes, with music, oh my god, like I spent all of my resources. I'm not even sleeping on a real bed, to be honest. I'm sleeping on like 2 mattress toppers because all of the money I've ever made just went directly to music and staying alive and like contributing to like my mental well-being, my physical well-being on top of that. So there's currently no savings or nothing. I'm giving this like my 100,000%, everything that I have. So yeah, so there's that too. I'm sincerely curious to see where my life ends up and goes next year. I don't even, like, how life has been. It's been a crazy trip. The craziest things have happened. I have achieved different dreams and also have experienced, like, it was like one day I'm doing really great, amazing, I'm achieving these dreams. Psychologically speaking, I'm like pretty good. And then other days, I'm just like, oh, where's the light? How can I get through this? Why am I doing all of this? Why am I persisting? And let me tell you, the dream that I have is like the only thing that's helping me like get through all of this and everything. The desire to also face my fears and really just materialize my visions, things that I nonstop think about, is what keeps me constantly moving forward. My dreams. That's basically it too. On top of that, I'm gonna make an effort to heal my family as well, but you see, that costs money and resources. That, let's see what God or the universe has in store for me as well. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna be recording more, and I'm excited to share my journey in healing, doing the things I've always wanted to do, and yeah, that's all I got. Bye.